Desperate signals. The darkness of space stretched endlessly around monitoring station Alpha 7, humanity's farthest outpost in the Orion Arm. Inside the station's command center, Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez rubbed her tired eyes and sipped the last of her lukewarm coffee. 14 hours into a 16-hour shift and nothing but cosmic background radiation, she muttered to herself. Her partner, Specialist Owen Chen, was scrolling through data feeds with glazed eyes when his console suddenly emitted 3 sharp beeps. "Hey Maya, I'm getting something weird here." Rodriguez moved to his station, suddenly alert. "What have you got?" "Signal. Weak but definitely artificial. Coming from the Procyon sector, about 37 light-years out." Rodriguez's brow furrowed. "That's outside known space. Run it through the translation matrix." Chen's fingers danced across the holographic interface. "Working on it. Pattern is repeating. Definitely not random noise." The station's advanced AI analyzed the signal for several minutes before a soft chime indicated completion. A translation appeared on the main screen, fragmentary but clear enough. "Urgent request. Assistance. Under attack. Peaceful. Cannot defend. Please help. Viridian Collective." Rodriguez and Chen exchanged a look of shock. "Is this first contact?" Chen whispered. "No," Rodriguez replied, her voice tight. "This is a distress call. Alert. EDF command. Priority Alpha." Captain Alara Chen stood on the bridge of the United Earthship Thunderbolt, hands clasped behind her back as she studied the holographic star map. At 42, she had the bearing of someone who had seen her share of combat, with a thin scar running across her left cheek and eyes that missed nothing. "Play it again," she ordered. The AI complied, and the message echoed through the bridge. This time, after 3 days of signal enhancement, they could hear the fear in the alien voice. "This is an emergency broadcast from the Viridian Collective to any spacefaring civilization capable of receiving this message. Our worlds are under attack by the Kresvar Dominion. 3 of our colony systems have gone silent. We are a peaceful species. We have no significant military. We cannot defend ourselves. Please, if anyone can hear this, help us." Admiral William Reeves, joining via secure holographic link from Earth Defense Headquarters in Geneva, spoke next. "Analysis confirms this is genuine. The signal originated from the Procyon system, specifically the 4th planet. The Viridians, what do we know about them?" Captain Chen asked. A holographic image appeared showing a slender, ethereal-looking being with iridescent skin and 4 arms. Science Officer Dr. Amara Okafor explained. From the data package embedded in their distress signal, the Viridians evolved on a low-gravity world with minimal environmental pressures. Their civilization is over 8,000 years old, primarily focused on art, philosophy, and scientific research. They've never developed significant weapons technology. And these attackers, the Kresvar Dominion? Chen pressed. Another hologram appeared, a reptilian humanoid with heavy armor plating across its chest and arms. "Less information available," Okafor admitted. But the Viridians describe them as expansionist conquerors who target what they call soft species, civilizations without significant defensive capabilities. Admiral Reeves's expression hardened. In other words, bullies who pick on those who can't fight back. "Yes, sir." Captain Chen studied the tactical overlays. "Projected Kresvar capabilities. Their technology appears advanced, but their biology suggests they evolved on a world similar to the Viridians. Low gravity, stable climate, few predators. They rely on technological superiority rather than physical resilience." Chen nodded, understanding the implications. They've never faced Deathworlders before. The term hung in the air. Deathworlders, the unofficial classification for species like humans who evolved on high-gravity, radiation-soaked planets with extreme environmental challenges and abundant predators. Earth had forged humanity in fire, flood, ice, and blood over millions of years. Admiral Reeves cleared his throat. "The Earth Defense Council is split on intervention. The Viridians are unknown to us. This isn't our fight by any legal standard." "With respect, Admiral," Chen replied. If we ignore this, what message does it send to the galaxy? That humanity stands by while peaceful civilizations are eradicated? I agree with you, Captain, but there are political considerations. There always are, sir. Meanwhile, people die. A tense silence filled the bridge. Finally, Reeves nodded. You have authorization for a reconnaissance mission. Take the Rapid Response Group, Thunderbolt, Valiant, and Defiant. Assess the situation, gather intelligence, and report back. And if we find the Viridians under active attack? Admiral Reeves met Chen's gaze steadily. Captain, I'm giving you tactical discretion. The official mission parameters are for reconnaissance only. Whatever happens after you arrive. Well, communications might be delayed across 37 light-years. Chen understood perfectly. Yes, sir. When do we depart? Immediately. I've already ordered your ships to prepare for jump. 12 hours later, Captain Chen addressed the assembled crew in the Thunderbolt's main hangar bay. 3,000 men and women in crisp Earth Defense Force uniforms stood at attention. The mission ahead of us is unprecedented, Chen began, her voice carrying clearly through the vast space. We will be the first humans to make contact with the Viridian Collective, and possibly the Kresvar Dominion as well. She paced slowly across the raised platform. I won't sugarcoat this. We're jumping into an unknown situation against an enemy of unknown capabilities. What we do know is that the Viridians are being systematically destroyed because they lack the means to defend themselves. Chen paused, looking out at the faces before her. Our mission parameters officially classify this as reconnaissance, but I want to be clear about what we might find and what we might need to do. The holographic display behind her activated, showing the Viridian distress signal. All of you have seen the message. All of you know what's at stake. This may not be our fight by any legal definition, but there comes a time when standing by is no longer an option. She straightened her shoulders. Humanity has not always been kind to itself. Our history is marked by conflict. But we have always respected courage and despised bullies. We have always understood that true strength lies not just in power, but in how that power is used. The hangar bay remained silent, every person absorbing her words. The Kresvar target soft species, those who cannot fight back. They have never encountered humans before. They have never faced a species forged on a death world. A grim smile crossed Chen's face. If we need to intervene, we will show them exactly what that means. In the final hours before jump, Lieutenant Commander Raj Mehta calibrated the Thunderbolt's main weapon systems. As weapons officer, his responsibility was ensuring that if diplomatic options failed, the ship's impressive arsenal was ready. Think we'll actually get to use these? Asked Junior Lieutenant Zoe Harris, his assistant. Mehta ran a final diagnostic on the particle lance array. Hard to say. Part of me hopes not. First contact shouldn't be at the end of a gun. Another part of me wants to show these Kresvar what happens when you pick on the wrong neighborhood. Harris finished. Something like that. Mehta closed the diagnostic panel. All systems optimal. Let's run the kinetic package one more time. As they worked, Dr. Okafor entered the weapons bay, carrying a data tablet. Commander Mehta, I've finished. Analyzing the Viridian physiology data, you'll want to adjust your tactical parameters. Mehta took the tablet. How so? The Viridians can't tolerate the same G-forces we can. Any rescue operations will need to account for that. Additionally, their atmospheric requirements are similar to ours but with higher oxygen content. Noted. What about the Kresvar? Okafor's expression tightened. Limited data, but what we have suggests they've built their empire by exploiting biological advantages over species like the Viridians. They've never encountered a species physically stronger than themselves. Then they're in for a surprise, Harris muttered. Indeed, Okafor replied. Their ships are designed for their physiological limitations. They can't pull the same maneuvers our pilots can. Their armor isn't designed to withstand the kinds of impacts Earth-evolved muscles can deliver. Mehta processed this information. So in space, we have a maneuverability advantage, and in ground combat, we're potentially stronger, faster, and more durable. Okafor confirmed. But don't underestimate them. They've conquered multiple star systems for a reason. The ship-wide comm system activated with Captain Chen's voice. All personnel prepare for jump sequence, T-minus 30 minutes to departure. Meta secured the weapons console. Well, we're about to find out if your analysis is correct, Doctor. For the Viridian's sake, Okafor replied soberly. I hope it is. In orbit above Earth, 3 warships disengaged from their docking stations. The Thunderbolt, a heavy cruiser and the flagship of the group. The Valiant, a tactical destroyer specializing in close-range combat. And the Defiant, a stealth frigate designed for reconnaissance and surgical strikes. On the Thunderbolt's bridge, Captain Chen watched as Earth shrank in the view screen. All ships reporting ready, Captain, announced Communications Officer Lieutenant Park. Very good. Chen took her command chair. Navigator, are jump coordinates set? Yes, Captain. Procyon system, approach vector calculated to put us at the edge of the system. Standard stealth protocols engaged. Chen nodded. Weapons Officer Meta, status? All offensive and defensive systems ready, Captain. Medical? Chief Medical Officer Dr. Salima Nasir responded. Sickbay prepared for potential casualties, including xenophysiology considerations based on Dr. Okafor's analysis. Chen surveyed her bridge crew one last time. This mission may be classified as reconnaissance, but we all know what we might find. The Viridians have called for help, and Earth has answered. Whatever happens next, we will conduct ourselves with honor and discipline. She pressed the ship-wide comm. All hands prepare for jump in 10 seconds. The massive engines of all 3 ships hummed with building energy as the jump drives prepared to tear a hole through space-time. 3, 2, 1, jump. In a flash of brilliant light, the 3 ships vanished from Earth orbit, hurling across 37 light-years toward a conflict that would introduce humanity to the wider galaxy, not as explorers or diplomats, but as warriors defending the defenseless. The Deathworlders were coming. Deathworlders unleashed. The 3 Earth ships emerged at the edge of the Procyon system, their jump engines powering down as stealth systems automatically engaged. The bridge of the Thunderbolt remained silent as the sensors gathered initial data. Passive scan complete, Captain, reported Lieutenant Commander Sato, the sensor officer, picking up multiple energy signatures consistent with weapons fire around the 4th planet. Captain Chen nodded grimly. As we feared, tactical assessment? Officer Meta studied his console. 23 vessels in orbit around Procyon the 4. Energy signatures match what we extrapolated for Kresvar technology from the Viridian data package. They're bombarding the surface systematically. Any response to our arrival? Negative, Captain. Their sensor technology appears inferior to our stealth capabilities. They haven't detected us. Chen turned to communications. Any transmissions from the surface? Lieutenant Park adjusted his earpiece. Yes, Captain. Scattered distress calls. Civilian communications only. No evidence of military response. Dr. Okafor approached the command chair. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy discharges targeting population centers. The Kresvar aren't just conquering, they're exterminating. Chen's jaw tightened. Deploy reconnaissance drones. I want detailed scans of those ships and their weaknesses before we reveal ourselves. Captain, Sato interrupted. I'm picking up a new signal. A Viridian vessel attempting to escape the atmosphere. 5 Kresvar fighters in pursuit. Everyone on the bridge watched as the small diplomatic vessel, clearly not designed for combat, desperately tried to outmaneuver its pursuers. Chen didn't hesitate. Lieutenant Commander Diaz, take the Defiant and intercept. Stealth approach, save that ship. Yes, Captain, Diaz replied before rushing off the bridge. Chen returned to the tactical display. The rest of us will maintain position and complete intelligence gathering. I want options for both diplomatic resolution and full military response. Aboard the stealth frigate Defiant, Lieutenant Commander Sofia Diaz took command of the bridge. Jump drives charged for microjump, reported her navigator. Course plotted to intercept the Viridian vessel. Execute, Diaz ordered. The Defiant, vanished momentarily before reappearing directly between the fleeing Viridian ship and its pursuers, still cloaked from detection. Target locked on all 5 Kresvar vessels, announced Weapons Officer Lieutenant Hayes. Defensive measures only, Diaz reminded her. Disable their engines and weapons, no destruction unless absolutely necessary. Understood, Commander. Diaz opened a channel to the Viridian ship. Viridian vessel, this is Lieutenant Commander Diaz of the Earth Defense Force ship Defiant. We're here to assist. Please maintain your course. After a moment of silence, a stunned voice replied, Earth? You received our message? We had almost lost hope. We received it, Diaz confirmed. Now let us handle your pursuers. She nodded to Hayes. Drop cloak and engage. The Defiant suddenly appeared between the hunters and their prey, its sleek black hull absorbing most sensor readings. Before the Kresvar could react, precision energy pulses disabled the engines of all 5 vessels simultaneously. The Kresvar ships drifted helplessly as the Defiant escorted the Viridian vessel toward the waiting Thunderbolt. On the Thunderbolt's bridge, Captain Chen greeted the Viridian ambassador, a tall, willowy being with 4 arms and iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer with bioluminescence. Despite its alien appearance, the fear and exhaustion in its large eyes were unmistakable. Ambassador Thala, I am Captain Alara Chen of the United Earthship Thunderbolt. We came as quickly as we could. The ambassador bowed deeply. Captain Chen, the Viridian Collective will forever be indebted to humanity for answering our call. But I fear you have arrived too late for many of our people. The Kresvar have already destroyed 3 colonial systems. This is our homeworld they now attack. Chen led the ambassador to the tactical display. Our reconnaissance is complete. We've identified 23 Kresvar warships in orbit, with an estimated 15,000 ground troops already deployed on the surface. What can 3 ships do against such numbers? Thala asked, despair evident in their voice. Chen smiled thinly. Ambassador, there's something you should understand about humans. We evolved on what your scientists would classify as a death world, high gravity, extreme temperature variations, natural disasters, and countless predators. Earth shaped us to survive against overwhelming odds. She gestured to the tactical display. The Kresvar have superior numbers, yes, but our analysis shows their vessels are designed for beings who evolved in environments similar to yours. Low gravity, minimal environmental stressors. What does that mean in practical terms? It means, Chen replied, that their ships can't withstand the maneuvers our pilots can execute. Their armor isn't designed to withstand our weapons, and their ground forces have never faced soldiers with our physical capabilities. She tapped a command into the console, bringing up a battle plan. I've authorized a 2-pronged response. First, our ships will engage their fleet. Second, we'll deploy ground teams to evacuate civilians and engage Kresvar forces. Ambassador, Thala's large eyes widened. You would risk your people for us? That's what allies do, Chen said simply. Now let's introduce ourselves to the Kresvar Dominion. The Kresvar commander, Supreme Battle Leader Vexnar, stood on the bridge of his flagship, overseeing the systematic bombardment of the Viridian homeworld. Status report, he demanded. His second-in-command consulted a data terminal. Cleansing operations proceeding as scheduled, Supreme Leader. Major population centers neutralized. Resource extraction teams report minimal resistance. Vexnar's scaled lips curved into what might have been a smile. As expected, these Viridians are like all soft species. Weak, defenseless. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Unidentified vessels detected, shouted the sensor officer, panic evident in his voice. 3 ships approaching at high velocity. Impossible, Vexnar snarled. Our scans showed no other civilizations within response range. The communications officer turned from his station. We're receiving a transmission. Vexnar straightened his armored frame. Display it. The main screen activated to show Captain Chen, her scarred face impassive. Kresvar vessels, this is Captain Alara Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You are attacking a civilization under our protection. Cease hostilities immediately and withdraw from this system, or we will be forced to respond with appropriate measures. Vexnar's eyes narrowed. Earth? I know of no such world. Your 3 ships presume to challenge the might of the Kresvar Dominion? Identify your species. We are humans, Chen replied evenly. And yes, our 3 ships are more than enough. The Diu, Kresvar commander laughed, a harsh clicking sound. Your confidence is amusing. Perhaps we will study your species after we've dealt with the Viridians. You may have advanced stealth technology, but you are clearly ignorant of galactic politics. The soft species exist to serve the strong. That is the natural order. Chen's expression didn't change. I'm giving you one final opportunity to withdraw. And I reject your presumption. Defensive positions. Vexnar ordered his fleet. Destroy these interlopers. As the transmission ended, Vexnar turned to his weapons officer. Target their largest vessel and fire all batteries. On the Thunderbolt, Chen watched as the Kresvar ships moved into attack formation. They've made their choice, she said quietly. All ships, execute battle plan Avalanche. What happened next would later be studied in military academies across the galaxy. The 3 Earth vessels suddenly accelerated to speeds the Kresvar targeting systems couldn't track, executing maneuvers that would have torn apart ships built for low-gravity species and killed crews without Earth-evolved physiologies. The Valiant unleashed a barrage of kinetic projectiles that tore through 4 Kresvar ships simultaneously, their shields calibrated for energy weapons rather than physical impacts. The Defiant blinked in and out of visibility, precisely targeting propulsion and weapon systems with surgical strikes. And the Thunderbolt, led by Captain Chen, drove straight toward the Kresvar flagship, absorbing the panicked counterfire without slowing. They're attempting to lock tractor beams, reported Officer Meta. Let them, Chen ordered. Divert auxiliary power to forward momentum. The Kresvar flagship's tractor beams engaged, attempting to halt the Thunderbolt's advance. Instead of resisting, Chen ordered more power to the engines, using the connection to pull the flagship out of formation. Tractor connection established, Captain, Meta confirmed. Their ship is being dragged from its position. Perfect. Deploy boarding teams. Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez, now leading a ground assault team, had never expected to find herself teleporting onto an alien vessel during her first interstellar mission. Yet here she was, along with 20 other soldiers in powered combat armor, materializing in the Kresvar flagship's main corridor. The Kresvar guards reacted with shock, firing energy weapons that dissipated harmlessly against the humans' shields. Non-lethal. Response, Rodriguez ordered, remembering Captain Chen's instructions. We want prisoners, not corpses. The human soldiers advanced, their Earth-evolved muscles giving them a decisive advantage in the ship's low artificial gravity. When a Kresvar soldier charged Rodriguez with what appeared to be an energy blade, she simply caught its arm, the powered armor enhancing her already superior strength, and disarmed it with embarrassing ease. Secure the bridge, she ordered. Find their commander. In orbit around Procyon 4, the battle had become decidedly one-sided. Of the 23 Kresvar vessels, 7 had been destroyed, 9 disabled, and the remainder were attempting to retreat. On the Thunderbolt's bridge, Ambassador Thala watched in amazement. How is this possible? The Kresvar have conquered 12 star systems, 12 systems of low-gravity species, Chen replied. They've never faced opponents who could withstand their standard tactics. They've never needed to innovate or adapt. Her console beeped. Captain, came Rodriguez's voice, we've secured the Kresvar flagship. Supreme Battle Leader Vexnar is in custody. Excellent work, Lieutenant. Bring him to the Thunderbolt. On the planet's surface, the battle took a different form. Lieutenant Commander Raj Mehta led a team of 50 soldiers to evacuate a Viridian research center under heavy Kresvar attack. Move slowly with the Viridian civilians, he reminded his troops. Their bodies can't handle rapid acceleration or high G-forces. As they guided frightened Viridians to evacuation points, a Kresvar assault squad rounded the corner. Their leader, seeing the human soldiers, barked orders in their clicking language. They're ordering us to surrender, translated the AI in Meta's helmet. Meta stepped forward. Tell them we'll accept their surrender. When the translation reached the Kresvar leader, the alien made a sound that might have been laughter before, firing his weapon. The energy blast struck Meta directly in the chest and did nothing. The Kresvar's expression changed to one of shock as Meta continued walking forward, the armor designed for Earth's higher gravity and more extreme conditions, easily absorbing the impact. Last chance, Meta offered. The Kresvar squad dropped their weapons. Similar scenes played out across the planet as human soldiers demonstrated capabilities the Kresvar had never encountered, operating in toxic atmospheres without protection, lifting debris that would require machinery for Kresvar troops, continuing to fight despite injuries that would incapacitate the invaders. Within 6 hours, the Kresvar ground forces had either surrendered or been neutralized. Supreme Battle Leader. Vexnar stood in the Thunderbolts conference room, his scaled hands bound, facing Captain Chen and Ambassador Thala. "You have violated all protocols of warfare," the Kresvar commander hissed. "The Dominion will not forget this humiliation." Chen leaned forward. "Let me be absolutely clear, Supreme Battle Leader. The humiliation you feel isn't from defeat, it's from the revelation that your entire conquest strategy was based on a fundamental miscalculation." She activated a holographic display showing Earth. "This is our homeworld, nearly twice the gravity of yours. Extreme temperature variations, thousands of predator species, natural disasters that reshape continents. This is where we evolved, where we learned to survive." Vexnar's eyes widened slightly as the implications became clear. "The Viridians are now under Earth's protection," Chen continued, "as are all the soft species you've targeted. We will be establishing a permanent defense presence in this sector. The Dominion Council will never accept—" "The Dominion Council will see the data from this engagement," Chen interrupted. "They'll understand that continuing this expansionist policy against protected worlds will result in conflict with humanity. A conflict you cannot win." She stood. "Lieutenant Rodriguez will escort you to your remaining vessels. You have 12 hours to retrieve your surviving forces and leave this system." As Vexnar was led away, Ambassador Thala turned to Chen. "You're letting them go?" "We're not here to destroy the Kresvar, Ambassador, just to establish boundaries. They're intelligent enough to understand the new reality." Thala's 4 hands performed a complex gesture of respect. "Today marks a new era for the Viridian Collective. Will Earth truly establish a defensive presence here?" Chen nodded. "Admiral Reeves is already preparing a permanent station. The Thunderbolt will remain until it arrives." "And what does Earth want in return?" "Alliance, cultural exchange, scientific collaboration." Chen smiled. "We have much to learn from each other. The Viridians have art and philosophy that span millennia. Earth has other strengths." Thala's skin rippled with colors that the translation matrix identified as indicating profound emotion. "The galaxy has underestimated your species, Captain Chen." "A common mistake," Chen replied, "when encountering Deathworlders." 2 weeks later, as Earth established its first extraterrestrial embassy on Procyon 4, Admiral Reeves addressed the Earth Defense Council via holographic link. "The Kresvar Dominion has formally acknowledged Earth's protective status over the Viridian Collective and withdrawn from the contested territories," he reported. "More significantly, 7 other species previously targeted by the Dominion have reached out through Viridian channels seeking similar arrangements." Council Chairperson Amara Singh frowned. "Are we prepared to extend our protection so broadly, so quickly?" "We may not have a choice," Reeves replied. "Word is spreading. Humanity's response to the Viridian distress call has changed the calculus for numerous civilizations. We're being seen as protectors." From Deathworlders to Guardians, Singh mused. Captain Chen's actions may have defined humanity's role in galactic politics for generations to come. On the surface of Procyon 4, Captain Chen watched as Viridian children played fearlessly under a blue-green sky, the constant dread of the past months finally lifting. A delegation of Viridian scientists approached, led by Ambassador Thala. "Captain, we have completed our analysis of human physiology," one scientist announced excitedly. "Your species' adaptations are remarkable. The implications for medical science alone are groundbreaking." Chen smiled. And we've only just begun sharing knowledge. Thala gestured toward the newly established Earth Embassy. The Viridian Council has composed a formal message to be sent to Earth. They asked me to share it with you first. Chen accepted the translation tablet and read, "To the people of Earth. When we sent our desperate call into the darkness, we had little hope of salvation. What came instead was not merely rescue, but revelation. You have shown us that strength need not come at the expense of compassion, that those forged in adversity can choose to protect rather than dominate. The children of Earth, shaped by their Deathworld crucible, have become the guardians the galaxy never knew it needed. The stars will remember this day not as an ending, but as a beginning." Chen looked up at the alien sky, where the Thunderbolt orbited alongside the first permanent Earth station in another star system. Humanity had answered a desperate call and, in doing so, had found its place among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as defenders of those who could not defend themselves. The Deathworlders had arrived and the galaxy would never be the same.